What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Friday Night Nitro. And you're looking at a Nitro with, I could say, probably one of the most interesting and yet important stories behind them I think I have ever heard. The story, I will get down to the details in a little bit. As you guys saw from the thumbnail, can I get a hell yeah for reseller is not getting this. No matter what, reseller, you not getting it. Don't care who you are, zero resellers out here, baby, all right? We got No Music RC, how you doing, man? We got Nitro Gang Queen Melissa, Satan's Rage. We got John Hensley, who has one of these trucks also. And we got the world famous Eric and Matthew, a good friend of mine whose father was the creator of Wolfpack Radical Parts, and his legacy will never be forgotten. In fact, I never sit further than a couple feet away from some sickening Wolfpack Radical upgrade parts. Why? Because the color, the packaging, the anodizing, the sticker, it just motivates me, all right? So let's get a little bit of a hell yeah for Wolfpack. The legend will never die. Ray Coral, Spotty Jack, thank you, man. I appreciate that super chat to the channel. It is all going towards making this, well, what seems to be, and I call this a barn find, this epic, legendary Wayne Carini. Anybody here knows Counting Cars Wayne Carini? Well, I am the Wayne Carini of Nitros. Except I'm not a reseller and I don't live in Connecticut. That was a great show. You guys remember Counting Cars with Wayne Carini? Never forget Wayne Carini. All right, we got Tara Curry here in the stream. I appreciate you guys showing up. And by the way, check out this awesome spark plug looking cup. I currently have a little bit of tea in it. This was a special birthday gift from our good channel member and viewer and friend, Tarek. I appreciate that. I told Melissa, fire up the tea kettle. We're gonna make tea in a great cup tonight. It's Rickety Rack. How you doing, Nitro Pimp? How are you, man? Now let me get down to the story first, and then we're gonna select a couple snacks for motivation. Johnny, Big Boys Toys, man, how are you? Hope you all had a positive week. I know a lot of negative things going on in the world, but what we can do as a individual is focus on our own microcosm. Some things seem far out of reach, like the Strait of Vermouth. Vermouth, how you say it? I don't know. Vermouth is a type of alcohol, correct? You can't touch a Strait of Vermouth, but you could touch a Nitro. There you go. You see that? I'm touching a Nitro right now. Michael Sucha, how you doing? All aspects. How you guys doing? All right, my dudes. I got to ask you all a question. I'm going to have a bit of a snack. Now, I need a snack to motivate myself to make a Nitro great again. This one actually has a story that I have never come across before. Now, yes, it is missing the body, but what really matters is everything other than that to me. The body, it's kind of like a supermodel. You can get one when she's 50. She's attainable. But when that model is 19, she's on too many drugs for you. Trust me. I found out the hard way. Long story, I ordered at a modeling agency. Okay, let us continue anyway. Let me take a little bit of this tea sip. I mean, come on. Can we get a hell yeah for the spark plug looking stainless steel coffee or teacup? That's hardcore. You're not going to see that anywhere. Tastes delish. Okay. Anyway, it's time to have a bit of a snack. Center one, what's going on? By the way, guys, happy Easter to everybody. It's a pretty momentous part of the year. Things are happening. Dan and Mads, how you doing? So we got a snack to motivate myself before I fire something up. Although this is beyond far from a fire up. So don't get me wrong. This is crazy far from a fire up. Remote is zip tied together. Go ahead. Ask yourself a question. Why is the remote zip tied together? You want to know why? Because this came from a hobby store. And that is part of the legend. All right, snack option number 1. We got cookies. Snack option number 2. What do you think it's going to be? I'm opening something up, guys. What do you think snack option number 2 is going to be? We got broccoli. Do you understand? These two don't even go together. But one is healthy. And in order to make a Nitro great again, you got to get yourself right first. So, what I will do, I will take a bite of whatever one you want me to take a bite of. I've already eaten both of these today. But what are we going to fuel ourselves with now? Broccoli or cookies? All right, by the way, broccoli is real expensive per pound now. The Strait of Vermouth causing problems worldwide. Stupid Strait of Vermouth. Or whatever you call it. All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to eat a broccoli first. Why? Satisfaction. Cold right out of the fridge. Not how you want broccoli. I'm going to tell you right now, not how you want broccoli. And then, I'm going to open up a cookie and get to business. All right? Where are you going to see this kind of stuff? No channel is going to eat broccoli and cookies together, guys. Not even that moron Vegan Gains. That guy's a steroid abuser. All right? Guy made his whole channel on being politically correct, clean, ethical, and a non-steroid abuser. But now he's pumping the juice more than some people pump the broccoli. Delicious cookie. All right, so we're going to get into the details of the story and open her up. I see this guy right here. He got 0 cookies. 0. All right, bros. Back to reality. All right. So, Sportwerks reaction, it's, around like the mid-2000s. As John Hensley said previously, yes, it is true. I do have one. This is going to be the second one. This one I picked up, and here is the funny story. Here is the funny story. At a hobby store in the basement. Now, you guys might know, I don't particularly love my hobby store. They don't know my first name. They don't know my last name. They only want my Nitro money. Problem is, they ain't got no Nitro. So guess what happens? They get 0 money out of me. That means I don't even get a hello when I open the door. True story. True story. All right, been going there for 15 to 20 years. Don't even get a hello. I guess they want your Arma money. Rory Holler, how you doing, man? Happy to see you here. Welcome to the Barnfind with a story, Nitro Gang Live. So the story is this. It's going to start at the bottom of the chassis. So let me show you the bottom of the chassis, and we will continue. All right. So these models feature what's known as a composite chassis with an aluminum plate that, all of your main engine, the heat components are mounted to. Wonder Bread, how you doing? I want to ask you guys a question. What do you think it was? How did this Nitro end up in my hobby store? And why did the owner keep it? So that's our question and story of the day regarding this barn find. It ended up in a hobby store, and I wound up buying it. Okay? So what happened? Soren, how you doing there? Soren, go ahead. Place your suggested bets. What's up, RC Adventure Xavier? How you doing? Question of the day is, how did this barn find end up in a hobby store and why? And then we'll get down to it. Well, looking at it, I can see this part of the chassis is new, huh? This part of the chassis has a lot of wear. Wow. That's not that great. let me just take a look at some of these comments, guys. Big Boys Toys goes, is this a second one of yours? Yes, bro. The other one I have has a bit of an issue, but this is the second one. This is not the other one that's for my videos. This one, I haven't done anything to it at all. Leon, how you doing, man? He goes, they were going to butcher it and make it an electric. You know what? You are not far off, except this Nitro, it's not a very standard chassis. It's actually pretty hard to work on. So I'm going to wait a couple minutes and I'll tell you guys the story and how I wound up being the owner of this and more. So I don't think it was going to be an electric, but what wound up happening is the hobby store owner wound up keeping it. John Hensley wants to know, how did I know it was there? Maxwell, how you doing there? Maxwell Smart. So basically, I walked in, I didn't get a hello like always, of course, and I go, I was trying to be polite. I was like, oh, you guys have any like old Nitros or whatever, take a look at. Maybe I could buy them off you. And he said, yes, we have them in the basement. Walk down the basement, I made sure there was a way out because it looked like a dungeon. Okay, it looked like a dungeon from, well, basically that serial killer movie. What's it called from the 70s? Something with, I forgot what the name of the movie is. Whatever. That's what it looked like. But deep in one of the shelves, there was one of these. And the question is, what did the owner tell me about it? Well, I'm going to tell you. So basically, I actually had like a little piece of paper on it. I don't know where it is right now. But the owner told me, but by the owner, I mean the hobby store. The hobby store owner told me that back when these were being sold, they sold like hotcakes, which does actually make sense. These models were very, very good on paper, but in real life, they were pretty much not good at all in terms of, reliability. They had ABN engines, but really on paper, these are kind of standout cars. They have a lot more features than anything else. But the real bad thing is non-standard electronics. So you really can't modify anything on these, and you have to use this original radio. You basically have no choice if you want to start it ever in your life. All right. So guy goes, well, my customer. By the way, check this out. If you don't know what I mean by non-standard servos, this is what I mean. So this is the servo wire setup. It's a plug. Basically 5 wires. Right? Non-standard servos are generally like a 5-wire setup, which is not good. It means you can't really replace them. They're not integratable with any kind of modern electronics, right? And this model uses a combination 2-in-1 system for the receiver and basically all the power module system. And this has 2 motors, reverse and electric start. Anyway, question is, how much do you think the guy that did not pay for this chassis owe? That's the question. We're going to start with that. How much did the hobby store charge the guy to fix this? And my understanding, I'm going to tell you guys what the fix was. The fix was the new chassis. So basically, prior owner said they busted the chassis, right? I mean, it's good and bad because on these models, they have the chassis is fairly easy to replace. You basically remove everything and you keep the metal plate, right? So it is swappable and they're fairly inexpensive. Now, I can only imagine how much a hobby store would charge to fix literally everything, I guess you could call it, because at that time you would have to remove everything. All right, Dad and Mads goes 75. John Henson goes 135. Crazy for Honda, how you doing? Goes 250. Wonder Bread says 200. All right, so I'm going to say Wonder Bread here is correct. So the bill was about $200. I actually saw the paperwork that was on the car. I must have lost it. I don't know where it went. But so basically, the buyer was thinking, well, I don't want to call him the buyer, the owner of the time was thinking, should I pay $200 and get this old turd back? And I guess he just left it there, right? And the hobby store took possession. I know our good buddy Nitro Pimp probably deals a lot with this in his real life career, where people just, well, they cancel on their debts, right? And then you just take possession of their property, what's known as a mechanic's lien. Correct about that, Nitro Pimp? I think that's correct. All right, so The guy was $200 into this car. Now, I don't know whether it had the body or not, but I'm assuming, when the buyer, the original owner, brought it to the store, they obviously left the body at home. So what I got is what you see here. I have not tested anything. Ben, how you doing there, Ben? Ben is driving. You stay safe, bro. I'm just telling the story of how I got this Sportwerks reaction number 2. Now, this one is real dirty, but I'll tell you something. The hobby store guy who does not know my name and doesn't care to know my name said at the time of when he was trying to return it that this was in fully running condition. He even said that he made sure the engine spun over and it had good compression. Now, truth be told, looking at it, it looks terrible. It's just probably the worst barn find I think I've ever seen. The only good thing about it, guys, it is seemingly complete other than the body. But whatever, body is a body, We ain't no supermodel here. All right, this is not the Arma Sellout channel. I know this week, everybody, there's videos on those new stupid $450 Arma 3S scraps. It's the same exact thing, Get yourself a used Vendetta and call it a day. That's what I say. Anyway, resellers, you ain't going to get this. So everybody, type in the chat, reseller, go away. There you go. Copy it. All right. So in a couple of minutes, I'm going to start tearing it down. I don't 100% know if really it's good or bad, but judging by, well, what's in front of me, it's pretty horrendous. All right. So let's clip this. Actually, maybe I don't have that. I'll just clip it. We got some hardcore cable tie. That's right, guys. Reseller, you're not getting it. Nothing wrong with the resellers. Personally, I don't think what they're doing is unethical, but you're not getting it anyway, okay? I'm getting it. Nitro Gang is getting it. And if I ever do sell it, it's going to be to a grateful person in the Nitro Gang that wants a sickening Nitro. All right, Ron Fuller, what's up, man? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Paige Smith is in the house here as well. Okay. Big Boys Toys, man. Thank you, man. Shout out to Safa, making you feel greater than last time. All right. Anyway, that's right, Wonder Bread. Nitro Gang got it. So, obviously, we have a ton of rust. Now, keep in mind, these cars weren't really high-end cars. They were pretty much bottom of the barrel. But they have some good features. And I just checked eBay. Honestly, parts are not impossible to get for it at all. They do physically exist. But here, everything is here. Literally everything needs to be fixed. All right. They did come with proper Proline wheels. These wheels are factory. Now, they're obviously old, but, Proline has good rubber. So it should be okay. The worst problem usually on these, the worst thing on these is usually the fact that you have, well, I don't want to say a proprietary battery pack, but notice the battery, it's a 7.2 volt, not a standard 5 cell, which is 6 volts, right? So these are old, nickel metal batteries. So chances are you could really run a 2S. I've done it before, and it does work. Not ideal, but I have run it on 2S, and none of the servos got fried. All right. Shout out to our longtime channel viewer, Ron Fuller, over in Taiwan, where I know a lot of vintage Nitros still exist. And let's hope those Nitros don't go to a reseller. Please. Okay? Please. You know what a reseller is? Middleman. It's a middleman. You know what you want to do when you want to cut costs? You want to cut out the middleman. That's what you want to do. The only middleman you need, and that already exists, is eBay. Essentially, you're going through 2 middlemen. I want to go through 0 middlemen. I want to go to the front man. All right. Anyways, I'm going to start disassembling it. Probably the best area to start with these cars. I'm going to be truthful with you guys. If you get one of these, make sure it includes the radio. The radio is a high priority item on these models. Now, if you didn't know, they have an intricate starting system with LEDs. This model is basically famous for reverse on the radio, which is a little slider, and remote start. Very, very important. Without this system, you cannot duplicate that functionality at all. All right? You cannot duplicate that functionality. It will not work. So first thing let's do, let's take a look at the batteries, because the batteries are a good sign into how long ago this thing was last run. I think that is a great area to start. You guys let me know if you're coming across something. Bob's RC, what's going on? Where you think a good area to start would be. It's always interesting to see what other people would do. All right. In this case, the radio's the best area to start. All right. So these use 8 AA's, and it's really difficult to remove this battery door here. It has like this hinge position, and it's literally awful. All right, so let's take off some of the batteries. Take out some of the batteries, rather. All right, so the good through date on this one, 2023. That means probably 10 years before this date. Usually batteries have like a shelf life of 10 years, on average. So figure 2013 was probably the last time this was at the hobby store. It's probably been at the hobby store for over a decade. It's sickening. It's beyond sickening, really. That's good or bad. I don't know. But the hobby store guy that does not know my name did say it was a runner at the time, but the guy didn't pay the fees, right? So for those of you just joining, basically what happened is the prior owner took this to the hobby store because he broke the chassis, right? He must have slammed it really, really hard. He should have really bought a Traxxas Jado. Those are easier to work on, and a stadium truck, right? Broke the chassis, so that's why the whole front chassis on this is actually new. It's all new, but it's just everything else is bad. All right, so let's remove the rest of the batteries. We got energizers, so we have no leaks. Let me check the rest of the dates. All right, so they're all the same dates, 2023. So figure 10 years ago or so. No, hold on. Yeah, 13 years ago. Over a decade. Batteries are dead. I checked them just before. The radio does not power on. I'm going to ask Melissa, can you bring me 8 batteries, please? Please? Nitrogen Queen Melissa, thank you for being a long-time channel member of 44 months. Appreciate that. All right, let me clean this up a little bit. I got a bit of a finger infection. I got to take it easy. But, like I said, this is going to be essentially an ultimate barn find at a hobby store. I mean, I don't know what else you would call a barn find, right? So, I'm going to test out to see if the LEDs actually do anything, if it turns on, and then we'll continue with the car. You know what? I could probably test if the electronics work too, right in this stream. Right in this stream. Guys, appreciate you for tuning in. Let's get a hell yeah. Bud Green, how you doing? Hybrid over here saving another Nitro. Melissa, could I also ask, in my starters upstairs, in that tray, there's like a starter. Can you bring the starter? They have a LiPo battery in it. Okay, you know, like in the shelf where I put the starters? By the fridge, by the Nitro fridge. Go by the Nitro fridge, please, boo. All right. So first thing, I'm going to do this because honestly, without the radio, working on this, if the electronics are toast, it's basically dead end. You got nothing. It will have to be converted fully then, if that's the case. So everybody, whether you believe in prayer or not, start praying, baby. Start praying. A starter by the fridge. John Hensley, thank you, man. He goes, great, fine, bro. Congrats on a rare and rad Nitro. By the way, guys, John Hensley has one of these. And he got one in perfect condition. And it fired right up. Tell us in the chat. I literally could not believe it. Literally could not believe it. It was hard to believe. It was fired up. Yes. Damn, you smart, boo. Why are you so smart for? Where'd you go? Princeton? Oxford? University of St. Louis? Okay, this is the wrong one. I need this is the wrong one. I need one with a Tamiya plug, please. I need another one. Tamiya plug. It has to be a white plug. Damn. Must have been Michigan University. A little worse. All right. So the other annoying thing here. Al Casa, how you doing there, Al Casa? By the way, guys, if you haven't seen this week's short with the Traxxas Nitro Rustler ripping all of the electrics, that was our good buddy, channel member and friend Al Casa driving. He's a person that when he tunes a Nitro, he tunes it to destroy a field of electrics. And he did it, and he made it happen. All right, good job, boo. Battery fell, battery fell. Need battery support, please. Battery support. I don't think this Nitro is going to destroy any electrics anytime soon, but it might. Well, yeah, the whole goal is to get it to at least start. I mean, all right, so I'm going to try this. This is a regular 2S LiPo with a Tamiya adapter. I'll explain why I need this later, because this thing uses an old-style Tamiya plug. Pretty much a pain. But it's a 7.2-volt battery. You don't have to worry about any kind of voltage issues, because notice, if I do a little zoom, the stock battery in this does say 7.2 volts because, well, it has a complicated starting system is really the reason why. I don't know why it was zip tied because this thing has screws in it. So, yeah, it's screwed in real hardcore. I don't know why anybody zip tied. Makes no freaking sense at all. Logic is beyond me. All right, so next problem. You got to put the batteries in correctly. And this is actually kind of annoying because you got to, there's basically 4 holes over there. And you got to follow pretty much, it doesn't even line up. So then you got to flip it and follow that one. I don't even know which one's they're referring to, honestly. All right, so I think it's saying, let me see. All right, so it's saying positive. You see what I'm talking about? All right, so I think it's saying these two go down. The positive, this goes this way. It's not really down. That's not the correct term. I mean, it either turns on or it doesn't turn on, right? And it has to slide in this, like, you see that? That's like already crooked right there. Literally the world's worst radio design. Well, for battery tray, at least. All right. And I think this one has to go positive up. I'm looking at this reference over here. World's worst battery idea. And the other one is negative. Okay. Sickening. Yeah, it's beyond odd, the remote. This one is negative, goes up. All right. You see that? You can't even really insert it correctly. All right, here we go. Sickening. I guess it'll be pretty much obvious. It'll either turn on or it won't turn on, right? That's kind of all there is to it. It's either a yes or a no. Kind of like a date. All right, so this goes this way. This goes this way. I mean, having to do so much guesswork is going to be a problem. I mean, not for me, but... All right, one more. That's assuming it all works. Yeah, Johnny goes, if I ever acquire one of these, I would run it and then shelf it. Honestly, they run pretty okay. They don't run bad. But, you know, these are kind of novelty models. So as long as you understand what you're getting, it's kind of novelty. All right. And now Good luck closing this lid. That's another nightmare and a half. So basically, this has to kind of latch, and then there's like a ton of pressure. What you have to do, you have to like latch it like this. All right. They sell the battery door separately on eBay. Like the battery door is an entire part number. Like, when was the last time you saw a Traxxas battery door as a part number? Never, right? Because they sell the entire radio. Right? All right. So I'm gonna power it on. Give me a second. If it don't power on, well, maybe I got the batteries in wrong, but hopefully that's not the case. All right. Let's do it. Sorry, I had a commercial here on my end. Didn't know what you guys were saying. All right. So I'm going to power it on. The goal is, well, let's see. Damn it. Oh, no. I see something. I saw something flash. Okay. We got likely a bad switch over here. I think the switch is going bad. Let me turn off the lights. We'll take a look at the switch. I think that the radio has to be disassembled. All right. Well, that's going to be dangerous. It does seem to power on, but the switch is definitely somehow busted. If I get down to it, this is going to have to be disassembled. So even something as basic as this is basically a nightmare already. Well, bros, wish me luck. I don't know what to tell us all. All right, it does seem that the switch, when I press it to some level, it was probably banged. What's up there, Lotus? How you doing, man? Welcome to the Barnfind. Wayne Carini couldn't make it tonight. Okay, Wayne Carini busy. You all know who Wayne Carini is? The guy from an old show. All right, so we might have ourselves a runaway in our hand. That's real bad, actually. It's probably damaged. But if it's just a switch, I could figure it out, you know? All right, WBL, how you doing there, bro? Guys, if you don't know, WBL makes great YouTube videos as well. The problem with this, yes, Terra goes, these remind me of the Pro Boat transmitter. That is correct. These are the JR Python. It was an entire range of radios, right? They all had the same style of mounting. Pretty good looking design, in my opinion, right? I kind of like it. But the Sportwerks model, it has the proprietary functionality, right? The heat start and the reverse. So these functions you cannot get in the other models. That's the problem. All right, so I mean, at this point, what I'll do, we're just going to check the electronics to see if I'm even in the right direction. I could probably work on the radio. How you doing there, C. Pullen? Good advice from C. Pullen. He goes, spray some contact electric cleaner, and it might fix the switch. That is true. I would have to disassemble this. So for now, I'm just going to move on with what we have. But yes, and in order to run it, this is going to be an ultimate situation. All right, so we got regular screws here. Let's remove the battery. Dana, what's up there, Dana? Just trying to keep one away from the resellers, Preston and Cats, what's up, man? You know what? I don't even need to do this. Forget this. I'm not going to open this up. I'm going to leave this how it is for now. Let's just... Bro, somebody zip-tied the crap out of this car. Okay. Let's just do this. So, my dudes, if you were wondering how much I paid for it, I haven't discussed how much I paid for it yet. So, the story is, the guy took this to the hobby store. The repair bill was too much. The repair bill, the hobby store assessed the owner over 10 years ago was $200. What do you think I paid? Minnie, how you doing there, Minnie? Minnie Mechanical wants to know, are these low-C tires? I'm glad you asked, bro. So these are Pro-Line tires. Sportwerks used Pro-Line rubber. So that's why they look familiar to you. These are, in fact, original to this chassis. Now, the chassis itself is basically junk, right? But they did use Proline wheels. Keep in mind, this was 100% Horizon. And Losi was distributed by Horizon, right? So that kind of is why. I mean, it makes sense if you really think about it. All right, so I wound up paying half. The hobby store owner goes to me, how about half? Well, you do half? I did half. But keep in mind that this thing is like in a real rough shape with unknown, pretty much everything. So yeah, Zach, how you doing there? Zach Conway, $100. Honestly, I would have been happy at 50, but $100 in unknown condition. Well, we're about to find out right now. Well, at least the electronic system. Obviously, I'm not going to spin the motor over. It's completely seized. Notice the super heavy oxidation on the head. I think it could be cleaned. It's just that these are like non-anodized parts. Not a good idea to use non-anodized parts, really. All right, so it'll either turn on or it won't. The voltage is the same. Oh, no, hold on a second. It's not the right battery. Need a different battery. I have to go get another battery, bros. All right, give me a second, guys, all right? All right, I'm back. Appreciate you all tuning in. Let me take a quick look around. Hold on a second, guys. I got a battery thing over here. Just take a quick look around. That was not the correct battery. I'm looking for a small 2S. That's going to be a no. All right, so what we'll do is I'll use this one then. All right, 7.4 volt. All right, that's fine. All right, guys, we're about to find out. Monty Kurska, how you doing, bro? Shout out to Nitro Queen Safa out there as well. All right, so I'm gonna hook this up. We'll see what happens. It might be good, it might not be good. But voltage wise, I should be in the clear. It's basically within the same range. All right. Oh yeah, mini mechanical. Those were like some from Electrics that I sold a while back. So can't really get rid of the lipos. It's like real hard to throw shit out in New York City. Okay. We're about to turn on the electronics. It might be something, it might be nothing. Let's see what happens. All right, the radio, at least the LED is green. All right. What do you think is going to happen? Hopefully nothing terrible. Oh, damn. That's pretty much terrible. It might be a bad switch. All right, so definitely there's nothing is happening so far. All right, well, that means we're going to need a full investigation. Let me leave it on and try a little bit of moving this around. Toast, everybody. JP, how you doing? No, this switch is definitely good. I just used that in something. All right, we got no power. Yep. All right, hitting it won't work. We got no power, so I gotta disassemble all of it basically. All right, Pim, go check the LiPo. The LiPo definitely is fine. I had it in the starter. Okay. Want me to check the LiPo? I'll check the LiPo. I got another one. It's toast, everybody. All right, so this is the LiPo we just had. It works. This LiPo 100% works. All right, so this is the starter I use. So this LiPo works. All right, so the problem on these cars, it's not really that simple. They use an integrated wiring module. Oh, Canon stuff, man. Major deal. He goes, picked up a Diagnosing 04 F1 Ferrari. Sick. That is sick. Let me take a look online at the power module so you guys understand. Because once you see this, you're going to understand. Sportwerks, reaction, power module. I did see a picture of it a long time ago. I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but this thing is basically, if that's a situation, that's a situation. Forget about the engine. The engine is like last thing. No, what is it called? Electronics module, or I saw a picture of it a long time ago. It's called module. No, it's basically an array of bunch. It's a wiring harness, basically. Let's see. Switch. All right, it was in my old video. I could probably pull up my old video and find it. All right, so we got a situation. I need to assess and see what we're gonna do. All right, first of all, crystal. Okay, it's red, and in the car it's red. We're gonna have to pull up the manual. Let me pull up the manual real quick. I don't know if it's gonna be in the manual, but these models use a really unique power module. So if that doesn't work, or whatever the case is, it's not a regular power switch, everybody. The hobby store guy told me it was in perfect running condition, bros. All right, let's scroll through the manual, see if I find anything useful. Nitro Addiction, how you doing, man? Welcome to the Nitro funeral. Hopefully not. I'm looking for a power module where we could see it. It's a front end assembly. This is the brake assembly. These use like a hub brake. That's the electric start, and this is the reverse system. Yeah, Nitro Pim goes, they all ran great until they don't. You're pretty much correct there. All right, so this module right here, 7087, is where the electronics module is housed. I've looked at it before, not in this truck, but in other trucks. All right, so we got the exported parts right here. Question is, I need to find a picture of that module. Well, I don't really need a picture. I know what it looks like. All right, so we got a problem over here. There's no picture of the module. All right, so if I go here, it's going to be called it's going to be called what? The power switch? No. Control. Let's see. Control something. I found a picture of it a long time ago. And when you see it, well, Melissa and I are currently watching a great movie. I don't know if you guys seen it. It's a pretty famous 1990s movies. And called Species. That's what this thing looks like. All right, I'm going to click my own video, actually. Let me see if I'll be able to find, because I did include a picture of the power module in this old video. So let me see if I have it. All right, that's my other reaction. It's not this one. It's a Lincoln. I'm just scrolling through forward. Okay, so this is me working on it. Hold on a second. That's one of the motors. Oh, that's Sandy. Some other issues. No, I didn't. I don't think I included a picture in this one. I'm scrolling to see where the picture for the electric start is. Well, it's not in this video. Might be this one. Let me take a look. All right, looks like it's not in this one. I don't know where it is. All right, regardless, let's continue. Can't get ourselves down, bro. All right, let's get to wrenching. Oh, man. All right, so what I need to do, I need to remove this whole upper deck, basically, to get to the power. It might just be like a bad power switch, but I think the power switch in these cars, it's not like a standard system. It has to be basically, you know, the entire system gets swapped. It really is not that piece of a cake. It's not sickening at all, actually. To be honest with you, I don't think I remember how to work on these that well. Yeah. Well, pretty much worst case scenario happened. The electronics don't turn on. These screws are like super tightly screwed in. If the hobby store, the hobby store guy did this, not very good. These are like the tightest screws in plastic ever. All right, bros, I guess that's part of the process, you know? This is what I signed up for. Some people go to the moon on Artemis 2. I go to make a Nitro great again. So I'm going to try to dig into the switch. It's possible maybe just the switch is bad. So I'm trying to get into this area. There's really kind of highly not standard type of work area here. Dana, how you doing? Dana, this was not in the rain. I think for sure this was like in a damp basement of the hobby store for like many, many years. So as far as I know, that's the history. All right, so I'm going to try to get to the upper deck. We have to remove these other screws on the side here. I'm just going to keep doing it. Yeah. When I said Barnfind. But you know what? A reseller would be like, could be made a runner, not tested. What do you think a reseller would say? Nothing. $200, nothing. Dude, those hobby store people don't know how to put screws in correctly. They over-tightened every single screw on this thing. What a bunch of turds, bro. Bunch of turds. Yeah, Nitro Prim goes guaranteed. The shop never powered it up. They were going to charge $200 for this. Well, you know, we don't know what it was like. All right, so this is starting to move. So all this is going to need to be pulled anyway. So I might as well pull the tank. Give me a little bit of space to work on. All the screws are like beyond tight. Really not a good idea to tighten the fuel tank so much that you can't even, like, it starts to crush the tabs. All right, so on these models, they're actually pretty tough to work on. Because everything is designed, you can see there's like extra bracing over here. The entire throttle linkage is very, very complicated. And yeah, Pim goes, we got the MGT primer, probably the only good thing on this. So notice the throttle linkage. You have basically a regular servo saver system here with a spring. There's also a lever here that engages the brake, which basically just clamps down on the clutch belt. It's good and bad. The bad thing is you really don't want to use a hub brake like this. You guys want to take a guess why you don't want to use a hub brake most of the time? The reason you don't want to use the hub brake is because the clutch belt heats up. And we all know when brake parts heat up, brake fade happens. It's pretty much straightforward logic. So it has to really do with brake fade. And I could tell from experience, I ran my other one, significant brake fade. We're talking like 5 different stops, like with the brakes. Your 6th stop is like twice the distance. So basically is what it comes down to. Oh my God. Every single screw is actually like halfway stripped on this. This screw right there, it's legit halfway stripped. I'm going to remove the roll bar. If the roll bar comes out, the fuel tank will come out. I should have a little bit of a easier disassembly. Yep. I don't know. I think Hobby still ripped me off, bros. This is going to be a problem right here, this screw. That screw's toast. All right, bros. That screw is 100% stripped. It was stripped. Check that out. Well, we got Sandy trying to come down here. It's fine. You can let him in. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to abort this part because I can't get the screw out. What I'll have to do is remove the engine and cut all this. All right. So on the bottom, there's really nothing. The Texas, how you doing there, Texas man? Happy to see you. I'm over here in the middle of some pretty not fun nitro repairs. All right, so let's get the exhaust off. Oh my God! Even the exhaust is bad. Looks like every single screw on this is bad. Hybrid, not a happy camper, guys. All right. We're going to try a small blade. That's not going to fit in at all. Yeah, this is a nightmare situation right here. All right. All right, got it. I got the other side of the screwdriver. Okay, got this one, bros. Whew. That could have been hairy. All right. Notice our sickening tower-to-tower brace. Sportwerks did it before. Arma. Damn it. Please come out. Ugh. Oh, toast. Every screw on this thing is rusted. All right, at least I got one side. Sick. Beyond sick. You guys think this is stream worthy? I don't think it seems like viewership is not believing it's stream worthy. Okay, got it out. I mean, you know, it's out. What else could you do? I'll fix it later. I mean, it is out, so I set to take it out, and it's out. Okay. All right, Lotus is here for it. Nitro Pimp not into it. Well, yeah, it was. All right, so we got the fuel tank. I'm gonna remove all this. Notice the way the fuel line was mounted. There's like a nice little access hole protecting the fuel line there. All right, I mean, it's coming apart slowly. I'm going to try the radio gear again, just in case. And we'll continue the disassembly. Who knows? Maybe it'll just pop into life. Not likely. I mean, it could have any sort of issue wrong with the wiring. All right, that's still a no. All right, still a no. Well, at least it's still a no. So, you guys following the space mission to the moon? Does anybody here know why NASA is returning back to the moon? Rory, holler. I bet you would, bro. Well, trust me, man. I'm going to do my best to make this a runner. I mean, you know, sometimes you get a little bit of disappointment, but at least the reseller did not get it. Because that means the reseller would ask for $250, and then the person would be like, what the hell is this pile of shit? Okay? Okay. So got that screw. So I got to get the rest of these screws from the upper deck out. That's the goal. Alright, got this one. JP, that was a funny one right there. So actually, Artemis 2 is going to the moon solely to make sure that China doesn't establish a moon base there first. That's actually the true reason. All right, got this one turning. Tell you this, guys, after working on the Sportwerks, you'll want to work on an HPI or a Traxxas. Guaranteed. I'm already sweating out here. Gonna need a new layer of deodorant real soon. All right. I got this portion moving. I'm trying to get to this module that's in this area. This whole upper portion basically keeps it in place. All right, we got screws over here and over there. Nitro Pimp goes hybrid. Name me a more toy grade Nitro than a reaction. I could name you one, bro, and I have one right next to me. The dedicated longtime viewers would know which one it is. Actually, beyond more toy grade than this, I have one. Terra goes, let's strip it, make it great again. Well, let's see, man. I mean, the parts are here. I'll be honest with you. If the electronics work, the rest of it will be not a big deal. It'll be like, time consuming, but with the proper amount of broccoli and cookies, you can make it happen. All right, so upper deck is basically free. There's just this pivot mechanism over here. Pretty clever lever, actually, for the brake cam. All right. Got the whole upper portion removed. Thank God. And now we're getting to the heart of the situation, guys. The heart. Are you ready for the heart? I mean, it wasn't that bad. I just forgot which screws you needed to remove. All right. Oh, Michael Sucha here with a good one. He goes, they're on the moon to find the guy for tax evasion. Well, his name was Wesley Snipes. They got him. Probably in LA. Wesley Snipes. Guy didn't pay his taxes for 10 years. Thought everything would be fine. Tarek is correct. It is the Nitro XRC, and I am about probably 7.5 feet away from one right now. Maybe 8 feet. Yeah, about 8 feet away. Okay, so here is the power module. It lifts out. So it's actually an entire module. As you can tell, it's closed up. It has circuit boards in there. And we have the power switch. So what I'll do, let me try to get at the power switch. Somehow, I feel like this has to come out also. All right, so I'm not far away from digging into the power switch, actually. Nope, that's not it. Just got to remove half the car, otherwise. Let me try again, if we have anything. Maybe jiggling it needs something. Let me see. All right, Michael Sucha goes hybrid. What would happen to somebody that didn't pay taxes for 15 years? Just so you guys know, in one of my earlier careers, I did work as a corporate tax auditor, which means I did review non-filers, people with multiple corporations, criminals around the world. So what would happen if you don't file? Basically, the problem is the statute is always open. The statute of limitations. If you don't file, you could be, they could go back as far as possible. If you do file and you happen to fabricate some things, then if it's accepted, you're only open for, let's say, audit for 3 years. The statute is 3 years from date of filing. Unless, of course, you have a gross material misstatement. Let's say your last name is Snipes, first name Wesley, and you just don't file ever. You're gonna get caught, right? So that's what would happen. I mean, basically, you're gonna get a giant tax bill. If you have assets, they'll just take your assets. That's all. All right, so let's try this again. I'm gonna just power it on again, see what happens. Sometimes when you jiggle things around here, they just sometimes get back to life, but sometimes they don't. This case is probably going to be one of the times they won't. Hold on a second. Nope. Nothing. All right. Nothing. Yeah. All right. So let's dig into, I guess, power switch area, which has more wires than you need. All right. So there's, what's that over there? Is that a screw? Let me see what's in that little hole. There's nothing. It's just a little space. How do you take this out? All right, so the power module comes out like that. It's just held in with wires, basically. There's really nothing holding it in. Yeah, this power switch has a lot more than 2 wires. Why can't I take it out? This portion has to get disassembled. You guys know that song, Holy Diver? This is one of those. Texas goes, you need a voltmeter. I'm going to get one. Let's just see what we got with the wires. But basically, at this point, yeah, there's really not much I can do. I need to get access to the switch at least, right? To test it. Okay. All right. Well, we got access to the power switch, baby. Let's take a look at it from the top down. All right. So we could probably do a voltmeter test. So I could tell. Yeah, there's like a bunch of. So it does have regular 3 wires. So I'm wondering. I should be able to test voltage going in, right? All right, let's try one more time with the battery, and then I'll connect the battery and we'll do a little voltmeter test. It's possible that like the module itself is toast internally. Nothing. Well, that's not going to help me, right? I mean, I should test the wires going in. All right, Melissa, can you bring me the voltmeter, my new voltmeter? It's in the closet. She might not know where it is. All right, I'm going to test voltage. All right, hold on a second. All right, guys. This chassis is a little stressful. Holy moly, is this thing malfunctioning too? All right. Just going to test the regular battery that I took out from it first. All right, so it's reading voltage correctly. So this is showing 1.5 a volt, 1.27 volts on that cell. All right, so the voltage meter is reading correctly. I'm I'm not really an expert in voltage meter testing, to be honest with you guys. I am not an electrician, but I know we have people here that can give me some good advice. Soul Reactivator, what's up, man? So Maxwell goes Fly Sky new servos. What's up there, Booster Man? How you doing? So the problem with this chassis is it relies on the control module. You can't change the radio gear at all. There's zero upgrade potential here. All right. Lotus goes test red and black. Okay. For voltage, right? All right. So I have this on. The radio's on right now in the background. But it really shouldn't matter if the radio's on or not. But just in case everybody knows the radio is on, let's see what we get. All right, so we got 7 volts going in. Yeah, look at that. 7.8 volts going in. You guys see that? When I'm touching it correctly? So the power switch is probably toast. We do have the voltage going in. Let me, now what? I mean, this all goes into that module. Let me test it again. I'll test black and white. All right. All right, I'll test the black and white. Black and white, we got the same voltage. 7.8, so it's working correctly. I'm going to turn it off now. We'll repeat. All right, same voltage. Well, you know, as long as I can touch it correctly there. It's all oxidized. All right, 7.8. And on and off. So the thing is, this module is what gives the power to everything else. So we do have correct voltage. I think we're gonna have to open up the module. What's up, Ryan Bollinger? How you doing, man? I'm out here with a ridiculously tough issue, actually. All right, I'm gonna have to open the module. I was not looking to do this. John Henson wants to know, does it smell like fried electronics? It does not. It smells normal. Yeah, all right, guys. Are you prepared to see inside this module? Because I'm telling you something. It is scary in there. It's something you've never seen in pretty much any kind of non-toy grade Nitro. You all ready for this? It's going to get hairy. There's no info on this at all. I'm going to be like that guy Tronics Fix on YouTube. That's a long-ass screw right there, too. Hybrid over here losing motivation, guys. This one does not seem to be moving. All right, now it's moving. It's moving. It's half stripped. Someone's definitely been in this one before. Because it was stripped before I even got here. This one. I'm going to use my finger. This one was stripped halfway. All right. All right, so it's literally an entire circuit board. 5-wire servos. I guess at this point I could unclip them. Oh, man. Do you see what I'm talking about? It's legitimately like a freaking computer board in here. All right. Okay. This came off. Let's get the crystal back in. So this is what I mean by non-hobby grade. We got ourselves a Commodore 64. Who knows? Maybe if I clean the board, maybe something is busted. I mean, I could individually check things, but you could tell the routing here. It's hardcore. I'm just taking a visual inspection. And there's no LEDs anywhere to see if like it's even getting power, you know. This is all right, I'm gonna turn it on again and let's see what happens. I mean, nothing's gonna happen. All right, well, I have access to it. I guess we can maybe test out something. And problem is you can't really connect any of the servos because you have these 5-wire style servos, which pretty much means you're locked into using this. Well, that's why you want to get a Traxxas. I mean, this is an entire circuit board, bros. You see what I'm talking about? An entire circuit board. Do I see anything wrong here? I mean, visually, I can't tell anything wrong. Let's flip the other side. I guess I could see, maybe trace the wires from the power switch. And so we have the red and the black over there on that side. What would people recommend doing in this case? The whole circuit board is toast. I don't see any kind of weird wires missing. Maybe this right here. No, this is the starter motor. So the reason there's so many wires in this, for those of you that don't know, guys, it's because this has 2 electric motors, one on this side, one on that side, and 5-wire servos. So it's technically a ton of wiring. All right, good idea there from Mini Mechanical. He goes, test the power at the board. All right, so we'll do that. So these 3 are coming from the battery. Okay, so I'll test the power at the board. The radio is on right now, and the switch, it's also on. All right, so let's test the power at the board. I don't think I'm going to find much, but you know, who knows? Maybe I'll be wrong. Hobby Racing, what's up, man? I've removed the fuel tank. The fuel tank would normally go in this area where the battery is right now. Nitro Racing Power, yes, he goes. It takes plenty of power for 2 motors. That's essentially the setup here, yeah. All right. Gotta get this positioned well. All right, so it's going to be a combination of some of these wires, so we'll just take a look. All right, we got 7.8 volts going to the board. So the power switch is doing it. Let me turn it off. I saw 7.8 volts. With it off, it's still 7.8 volts. That's odd. So the board is getting 7.8 volts. Okay, so that means maybe we have a fried servo or something. The board seems to be getting power. Yeah, mini mechanical goes means board toast. That's what it sounds like, man. Let me take a look on eBay. There's not going to be any parts for this, so it doesn't matter really. Let's see. Well, to fix a car like this, you need another car. Yeah, something is shorted. I'm wondering if I remove all the wires. The problem is, good luck removing all these wires. You could see they're pretty much entangled going to a lot of pretty much proprietary motors. There's a motor right here. There's a motor right here. There's a ton of motors, bros. What about any kind of safety system on this thing that has... Well, I could try to clean it with alcohol right now. You guys want me to try to clean it? I mean, I could try to clean it. I don't think it'll do anything. I could try, though. Who here wants me to try to clean it with alcohol? Yeah, definitely something's burned up in here. You see that? That's why I don't go to real hobby stores unless it's WeRRC, because they screw you. That guy literally said everything here works. Yeah, Nitro Racing Power goes, it could be the throttle servo. Well, I have 2 servos connected right now, and these are pretty much proprietary servos. There's no way I can retrofit a regular servo to this. All right. Spotty Jaggos, clean it, try jumping the power. All right, I'm going to go get some alcohol and a Q-tip. My dudes, I'm sorry for today's relatively mundane type of content. I thought this would go a little bit better. I've worked on one of these before. This is not great. I don't think it's going to do much, but listen, we got to try everything, right? All right, J3 Hobbies, I'm proud of you, bro. Don't give those resellers those nitros, dude. Don't give it to them. JP goes, your only solution would be probably pull start it and run it with new servos. Well, all right, let's unplug the battery. Yeah. Battery's unplugged, everybody, all right? It's pretty much like a needle in a haystack type of thing over here. I mean, the chance of me getting something that is like shorting it is real little. We're talking real little. So it does have power at the board, Lotus said. Yes, it does. I mean, I'm not going to be able to clean this. This is... let's let it dry a little bit there. All right. Michael Sucha goes, is there power going to the glow plug? I don't know. Let's check the capacitors closer up. So the capacitors look normal. Like, I can't tell if any of them are physically, like, blown. Right? Yeah, JP might be correct on this one. This might have to be a basic nitro conversion. And the thing is, if the electronic features in this don't work, then pretty much sayonara on that one. I might have to go with the standard system, which is a damn shame, really. But if I want to make this a runner, that might be the only way. All right, guys, what I'm going to do? You want me to test it again with the battery? It's probably not going to do anything different anyway. All right, radio is on. Yeah, we got nothing. I mean, usually the servos, maybe if I jiggle it. Nothing. We got a toast job, my dude. This one's toast. Anything else? Anyone have any ideas I could check? All right, Lotus goes pour alcohol in the switch. Let's do that. So the crystal is definitely the same. It's definitely the correct crystal. I see your advice on the crystal right there, Pyro Tony. I don't have a handy crystal right now. It's the only problem. I'm going to put some... All right. Hobby Racing Power goes put the wires directly. Well, I don't know how I'm going to do that on this setup. It isn't just like a regular receiver, you know? I don't know what that's going to do. Let me wait a little bit. Yeah, I think the only thing from the board is probably fried. I mean, this is legitimately a complicated board. You know, that's what I said before. So this ain't gonna be a piece of cake. All right, people are asking me to remove the switch and to just like hardwire it. I mean, it's getting power, so I don't know how the switch would do anything in this case, really. Let's try again. I mean, the radio turns on now. We got nothing. No, it's got nothing. All right, if I remove the switch, will that do anything? All right, Hobby Racing Power really wants me to remove the switch and connect wires. So what would I connect? The red and black together? I mean, that's going to be a lot of work. I mean, the board is fried. It's getting power. All right, what do you guys think? If the chat here wants me to connect the red and black together, I'll consider it. I mean, I don't think it's gonna do anything because honestly, like it's getting power. So hold on a second. I think I heard it do something. Maybe. No, I didn't hear it do anything. Oh, baby, did you see that? My dudes, we got a fixer. We got something going on. I heard it do something. What do you think about that? Nitro this is the Jesus of Nitro. It's Easter weekend. Throttle, baby. This is Nitro Easter weekend. I can't believe it. It's an Easter Nitro miracle, guys. It's an Easter Nitro miracle. Crazy. All right, so the engine is completely locked up, obviously. Probably got a short somewhere, but it might have fixed itself. All right, I'm not going to open up the throttle. The carb is jammed. This needs to be completely removed. Bro, I am happy I didn't go dig into this anymore. It's probably what one of you guys said, maybe Lotus. It cleaned up. Maybe the board had a short somewhere. Maybe it's better. It's a Nitro Jesus miracle for Easter. All right, let's turn it off. You know what? The reverse not active right now. Oh, you heard that? Reverse is it's seized, but it's the motor stripped inside. That's the reverse. Well, we're Nitro healers today, bros. To a small degree. I just have to fix everything else, hopefully. All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it off, let it chill, turn it back on. My dudes, I've never seen this happen before in my life. That's right, Pyro Tony. So the reverse motor is definitely killed. So the hobby store owner was a liar, like I pretty much always do. All right, turn it on again. I can't believe it, guys. Can't believe it. Good thing I didn't start snipping wires. All right, I'm going to turn that on again. We got the green LED. You see that LED? It's green. Lotus, the electronics wizard. You guys call him up. He can fix anything. Hyundais, Genesis, Priuses, anything really. All right, it's powered on again. Dude. No problem. I gotta make sure not to ruin anything here now. But it looks good. Whatever it was, maybe the jiggling of the wires. You guys remember I said if I hit it, sometimes it works. Well, this is one of those times. All right. Brakes even work. So check this out. These are the brakes. But I got to remove the whole engine, put it all back. Let's see. Ray Coral goes, move the wires, bro. I'm scared. I don't know if I want to move it. I'm going to leave it like this for a while now. But I know. All right. It's still going. Look at that. It's still working. I think I'm going to just leave it for now. I mean, clean it, get the engine, and then it's going to be a runner. I'm thinking the alcohol helped it. So, hell yeah. I'm going to turn it off. I mean, the power board works. I heard it send the power to the rear, the reverse motor. Right now, it's not working because the whole system is messed up. But I got to remove all that, too. But honestly, yeah, this thing got power, baby. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. It's a Nitro Easter week miracle. Yeah, it could have been dirty. Because I'll be honest with you guys, I've worked on these before. These boards are like real sturdy. I mean, this is the Commodore 64 computer of RC right there. Okay, they're sturdy. I mean, I didn't see anything visually wrong with it. Who knows? Maybe it was just had a bad contact. And after I did some cleaning, it worked. But I wonder which part I cleaned that fixed it. Yeah, Dana goes, the radio could be toast also. Well, we know the power switch on the radio is bad too. All right, bros, what do you think about that? I mean, we're one step closer. The electronics at least turn on. Now I just got to get the rest of it going. Big Boys Toys, that's right. I could not believe that. Could not believe it myself. Because honestly, without the electronics on this thing is basically a dumpster can. Pretty much dumpster worthy, but not really. Yeah, Dane goes, it's possible it dried out enough to work again. Yeah, totally possible. All right, guys, what do you say? You want me to continue on this? Or let's see what could happen. I don't know. Could have just been a bad switch as well also. They're totally correct there. It's possibly, I mean, right now the switch works that I cleaned it, so it's probably, I can't fire it up, guys. This needs to be, the engine is stuck. Like, there's no fire up. Texas goes continue, baby. All right, so these models. Man, that was sickening. Can we get a hell yeah to that one? That was Perseverance. You guys know Perseverance is the name of I think it's a shuttle, right? The NASA shuttle, Perseverance. I think that's the name of one of the shuttles, Perseverance. All right, so these models have a relatively unique glow plug type design where, well, it's not a glow plug design, I meant a glow plug heater. So, unlike the Traxxas model that just has a bare wire, this actually has like a position. It locates it, and that way, that's it. Look how easy this is. Honestly, this design is better than Traxxas. The Toyota iFly 65. I heard it making noises, and I'm like, there's something going on. Something going on. But honestly, this design is better. All you do to remove the plug, well, not the plug, but the system itself. That's it. It positions it itself in the head. This is better than Traxxas, bros. Come on. It's a Nitro miracle, I say. Next miracle will be to get all these parts out. All right. High-speed needle was frozen. Okay, so got to remove all of this componentry. This is the electric start motor. So luckily it has a banana plug on it. Ugh! All right. Good design, bros. I mean, well, good or bad, depending on how you look at it. All right, so we removed the plug for the electric start. There's another one that's not the same one. And these ones are going to the reverse motor. Okay, so the question is, pull the engine or what? All right. Yeah, the whole engine needs to be pulled. There's also a bunch of stuff. All right. Hobby Racing goes, what is the second motor for? All right, bro, I'm glad you asked. So the reason this model is very, very intricate, and the only model that I'm aware of that has this, not only does it have regular remote start, right, like onboard remote start, it also has electric reverse. That is the electric reverse motor right there. Some, let's say Traxxas or whatever, some other cars, they have reverse, but they have a gearbox. This has separate electric reverse. On the radio, there's a little switch. You pull it, and it goes back. All right, guys, so this chassis is actually pretty complicated. Let's hope nothing bad happens after what I just did. Tell you this, it's making me sleepy. All right, so we need to pull the engine. You know what? Thinking of a good way to pull it. All right, so the screws are going to be on this side. All right, so it's going to be these screws. Oh, man. I have a feeling, hopefully, they don't have to get cut. Okay, it's coming out. Coming out. It's coming out like that song by Pink. You guys remember that song by Pink? I'm not going to sing it because it's not going to make me sound too good. Yeah, Page goes, the Traxxas villain with electric return is similar. That is correct, but in the Traxxas villain and the Nitro V, they use an inline, like flip-flop hub, it's called. This is basically always connected, just has a separate motor that engages when it needs to. Joe Bates, thank you, man. I appreciate that. He goes, what the hell, yeah. Appreciate that, bro. The struggle was real on this one, Joe Bates. The struggle was real. So, shout out to you, man. So I'm not trying to get too crazy into this right now because I actually have like a finger infection. I had to get some antibiotics. I was cleaning some crap the other day, and I don't know what happened, but like it got better now. But my finger was real bad, guys. Real bad. It was swollen, like hardcore. You notice right now it's like kind of healing up. I almost had to go to the emergency room. So right there, some dirt got in. I was like cleaning some old crap, and it's still red basically. So a finger trying to kill me, and then a Nitro tried to kill me at the same time. So thanks to you, Joe Bates, man. Appreciate that. All right, let's see. All right, the engine is still very tight. Oh, man, I got random screws falling down. Holy moly. It's crazy for Honda goes, this moment calls for some Taco Bell. We might go later on with Melissa, bro. Like, it's possible. You know, they raised their prices, like, so much. Like, nothing is really even affordable there now. That's quite embarrassing, really, for them. All right. Next thing, so actually removing the engine on this is not a piece of cake, guys. All right, so the way this thing is mounted, there's a support bracket right there. And good luck getting that. So I'm going to zoom in and I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's pretty much a nightmare. But in order to get the engine out, if you want to lift it up, you have to remove the support bracket. All right, Night Hobby Racing Power Bro. Appreciate your viewership, your good comments today, man. That goes for all of you. I'm going to get to pulling this right now. Let's see how far I can get. As long as I can pull the engine, I could probably clean it overnight and do a quickie on it maybe tomorrow. We all want that Nitro quickie, don't we? Well, some of us. All right, there's another screw. I mean, this thing is... But notice the carb. The carb is like hella clean. Well, I just heard Sandy meow. That means he wants to hang out. All right. This is basically what holds in. I mean, honestly, this part is just reinforcement. It's just a bracket, and the fuel line goes through this portion. Gas vs. Nitro, what's up, bro? How you doing, man? Well, Savage XL. I see you're talking about a $673 Savage XL. Are you talking about the ones on like AliExpress? Because those are situations. I don't know if those are real. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put these screws back because like it's gonna be real tough to remember where they came from. But honestly, this chassis, other than the whole front plastic portion, it seems like they did a lot of different support brackets. Dad and Mads RC, I'm going to read your comment right here. I am a youth mentor at an automotive workshop working with high school kids. I'm trying to take my Nitros and the Baja in for demo. Bro, that would be impressive. I actually went to a year of a vocational technical school, Thomas Edison in Queens. And they had an auto shop. If that guy that ran the shop had a Nitro, bro, it would have been over. I would have not gotten into the field of finance and accounting garbage that I went into. Anyway, good question there from Crazy for Honda. He goes, honest question. Why did you name the cat Sandy if he's a boy? So he already had a name. We adopted him. You know what I mean? So he had a name already. I guess he's orange. So Sandy like a sandy beach. I mean, he had a name. So, you know, I understand it's weird. Yeah, he had a name. So, all right. So this is the throttle linkage. I got to figure out how to remove that. So this is out. No, we got to remove the brake hub. So as you could tell, guys, this thing has like a bunch of extra screws everywhere. Good luck getting them in. Actually, no, I don't think I got to do that. All right, so we're going to remove some of the screws on that side. Oh, man. This is like the hardest to remove engine in the world. Sorry, Ray Coral goes, he is Nitro Sandy now. Yeah, he already had a name. You know, we got him from like an adoption place, right? I mean, is he the best cat in the world? Probably 85%. You know, don't tell him I said that. All right, so these are the screws that are supporting the electric motor. Well, I mean, we made some progress on this car. I mean, honestly, this is going to require a ton of work. We're talking a ton. And the engine is still tight. What else is holding this in? Is it this? What else is holding this engine in, bros? I don't want to remove everything. Probably this screw over here. Nope. There's still more screws holding it in. What the hell could it be? That's the brake screw. No, so I don't know if I want to do that one. I'm going to leave that one in for now. All right, it's moving. Pyro Tony wants to know, hybrid, is there a way to remove glued tires? So the traditional method is you would boil them. I've never done it myself. Oh, David Vidori, how you doing, man? The traditional way is you would boil tires to remove the rubber, but honestly, almost nobody really does that anymore because like tires have just become so cheap and there's just so many different clone tires. So, and like when I first got into the hobby, when people bought tires and wheels separately, yeah, it was pretty common. What the hell is this still in there for? All right, there's some other bracket over here. I see it. There's a bracket on this side. Right here. There's a bracket supporting the bulkhead. Dude, this thing is real sickeningly annoying to work on. Oh my goodness. Gotta take the tire off. Mini Mechanical goes, is that chassis cracked? So the chassis is new. That's why it was at the hobby store to begin with. The person that took it to the store didn't pay their bill. And well, that's how I wound up buying it. It's one of those good and bad situations. Good, reseller did not get it. Bad, it's going to be a ton of work. All right, so these have like RC10 GT style wheels. Also a disaster. Holy moly, I am far into this one. All right, so there's a bracket over there holding this. I'm going to need like 2 burritos after this. Melissa, burrito time soon. I don't remember this bracket on my other Nitro, actually, Sportwerks. This seems new. Come on, homie. Damn. Okay. Ugh. There's like something. There's like so many support brackets. Oh my god. How could there be another support bracket? I don't even remember that bracket in the other one that I worked on. I am not fully confident I'll be able to get this engine back in. Well, I mean, I will, but what else could be holding this? Holy moly. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Right there, it's that metal support bracket. The engine is out. How could that be holding it in? I don't get it. All right, I see it. It's this screw on this side. There's a screw on this side. Holy moly. Yeah, this is what you call not very assembly friendly. Yeah, if you don't install this engine in correctly, you'll never get it back in. That's one of those. All right. Check that out. All right, we got the engine out. Holy moly. But now the electronics are but now the wires here are directly soldered to the board. So I can't even get the engine out more than this. The wires are directly soldered, bros. This Nitro's trying to kill me. Joe Bates goes sickening yank. Yeah, man. I mean, this thing has more support than on any other RC I've ever seen. Yeah, Michael Suchi goes, it's a Nitro Medusa. It literally looks like it. The problem is there's so many wires going to the electric start system. Well, you know what? These are just, that's just a ground wire. No, one is a regular wire. So what I'll do, I'm going to try to remove this wire. Please come off. Please come off. Please come off. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so if you assemble this in the wrong step or forget a wire, you're assembling everything back again. It's basically kind of what happens. All right, so here this is wired directly. Come on, get out. All right, got that one. All right, bros. All right, so this black wire, check it out. It's obviously the ground goes from the control board to the electric to the block. It's a ground to the block and to the other electric motor. Man, this thing is complicated. Faux show. Faux show. Complicated. All right, so here's the engine itself. I mean, it's basically a .18 Toki type engine. It's no frills, zero frills. This ain't going to the Artemis ever. All right, so the electric start is in the back, and the other one was a ground wire. Although there's already a ground wire from here going to here. So what the hell are they talking about? Oh my goodness. This thing is toast. But the carb is clean, bros. Oh man, we got those small little screws in the middle. I'm going to have to break out my special screwdriver. Not this one. I don't have it here right now. Hey, Melissa, can you get the other? I'm going to have to toss this in the ultrasonic before I do anything, I think. Bros, major success, but also major pain. Well, clutch bell spins. It appears we have ourselves like a nice looking, maybe even aluminum clutch in there. Bearings are good. I mean, the engine is, it's toast. It needs to be cleaned. Carb is clogged. But it might be a fixer. Yeah, David goes, Sportwerks seems to have had some smart designers. I'll tell you this. This was a budget chassis. But they have support brackets, dude. This is like heavy duty metal over here. Like, you're not bending this metal. Let me put it this way. All right, Ray Cole wants to check if it has power. So the problem is I've removed some of the wires already. But technically, yeah, you're right. It's just the starter wire for the motor. You guys want me to check if the chassis still has power? I could check. Then I gotta get burritos, okay? I'm serious. All right, so who here with a hell yeah to check? Ah, it's a big moment. Big, fat moment. We're going to the moon. Where's the switch? My dudes, we got full power. We got power, baby. It's self-healed. This thing is like, remember that movie, Alien vs. Predator? Self-healing. I got a self-healing Nitro for Easter. Sickening. Okay, so the failsafe, it actually has one. Kind of is like a small brake position. Sick. We got a runner. Well, not yet. James, how you doing there, James? All right, let's turn off the power switch. I mean, it seems to work. I mean, the big question here is, will I be able to assemble it back? Because, dude, this is like a legend. It's a legend in its own kind. Not a good kind. All right, so the engine, I'm gonna have to pull all this and clean it. These are just kind of like .18, kind of like the Yokomo engines. Maybe HPI 15, but these are 18s. ABN, nothing great, but maybe it'll be a runner, bros. Maybe it'll be a runner. Well, guys, what do you think? I mean, I think I had some significant achievement here today. First power board in any Nitro in the world, I think. Do you agree with me or not? The first literal board in a Nitro. Reseller not getting it. Rusty Customs, how you doing, man? Happy Friday to you. Let me just say, reseller not getting it. Reseller, kiss you know what. By the way, guys, if you want to pick up a new Nitro, I put some sickening links in the description to this video of all the in-stock Nitros. I highly recommend you buy something while you can. And if it doesn't hurt too much, please click the link. Also, the one I recommend is the SRX-8 Buggy. If you guys want me to take a look, I could show it to you. By the way, now that we talked about the Nitro XRC, I'm going to give you a quick opportunity of a 30-second view of the one that I have. You want a quick 20-second view? By the way, it's in a box, so I can't take it out of the box. But a question earlier was asked, what is the most toy-grade Nitro ever made? And I have one. So who wants to see the old Hasbro Nitro XRC? JP's RC knows. So the one I have is 100% brand new. All right, Tarek wants to see it. By the way, Tarek, this isn't the other one. You know what I mean. This is the first one I had. This is not the Ricochet. This is the Revolution. Literally, the Revolution. Let me show it to you. Hold on a second. I got to protect private property out here. The Revolution is here. So this is it. You see that? It says real engine. 2 bodies. So this, in fact, is the very first and only toy-grade Nitro sold. I think these were sold at Walmart. But it's got a Toki 15 engine, new bodies, has some suspension, has its own radio gear, never taken out of the box. Take a look at that engine, baby. You thought I was joking? There's no jokesters here. It's got a Nitro. That's right. That's how it works in this house. Those are some extra tires for it, by the way. The Walmart Nitro, guys. Walmart Nitro. You're looking at it. Never run. All right. Never run. Maybe the day will come. Maybe the day will come. But the day is not today. But I'll tell you something. Reseller, you're not going to get that either. All right, bros, I'm going to be here for like 2 more minutes. I appreciate you tuning in. This is this is not going to be a fun clean job. I'll tell you that right now. These parts like pretty much real heavy oxidation. I don't know why, because normally like better quality parts don't oxidize that much. JPRC is correct. I'm going to read that. He goes, those engines do not have sleeves. That is correct. Those Toki 15 engines that they use, they are sleeveless. So basically kind of like a gas engine for like, you know, Baja, whatever. The piston is directly in the head. So what that means is it's cheap, but also it's not serviceable. Ray Coral, man, thank you, bro. We will talk later on that car. I don't want to mention it here because people are going to go and try to outdo you or me. We can't have that. The resellers cannot know what we are talking about. Therefore, I am developing a Nitro code language. Okay? Code language. It's going to be better than Morse code. No Titanic is ever going to ship on this, sink on this channel. All right, bros. Thank you for joining today's stream. I might be back tomorrow. Might not be back tomorrow. Don't know. We did have a bit of a Nitro miracle. Thank God. Let's keep Easter alive. See you all later.